Her phone went to voicemail at 7 sharp on a Monday. Not the usual call you back, not the little dots in the chat, just a hard wall. The office said she'd left at 5:30. 2 missing hours. I stood at the kitchen counter next to a bag of salad and a thawing chicken, watching the clock and listening to that robotic, leave a message, eat my patience. I texted, called again, checked our neighborhood cameras out of habit. Nothing. By 9, friends hadn't seen her. Family hadn't heard from her. The group chat that usually pinged with her sarcasm was silent. It wasn't panic yet. It was math. Something didn't add up. If I'd known where it was headed, I would have prepped coffee for the cops and saved everyone time. Tuesday morning, I walked into the North substation with a folder, not a sob story. License plate, last known outfit, regular routes, an address list. The officer behind the glass had the dry eyes of a man who's heard everything twice. "What makes you think she's missing?" he asked. "She's reliable about her calendar," I told him. "No messages, no pings, and her people don't know where she is. That's abnormal." He tapped at his keyboard. "How long married?" 6 years together. Married 4. Any fights lately? Disagreements, sure. Adult ones. I kept my voice level. "This isn't that." He logged the report, called it in, promised nothing. Hours later, he called me into a small room that smelled like burned coffee and old carpet. He had that look people get when they'd rather be anywhere else. "Last ping we can see was a downtown business hotel," he said. Phone powered off shortly after. No sign of struggle, no flagged activity. "She's an adult, Mr. Bennett. Adults take space." "So you're telling me she checked in?" I leaned back against the metal chair. "Voluntarily." He lifted a shoulder. "Could be. I can't say more. I know it's tough, but sometimes people take a breather." "Copy," I said. "Anything else I need to sign?" "Not at the moment." I didn't argue. I walked out, called Evan from my project team as I crossed the lot. "You still have that investigator from your custody mess?" I asked. "Tyler Shaw," he said. "Guy's a bloodhound, quiet and boring, which is what you want. I'll text you his number. You okay?" "I'm effective," I said. "That'll do." Tyler picked up on the second ring. Calm voice, no sales pitch. "Mr. Bennett, Evan gave me a heads up," he said. "I'll need photos, her usual vehicle, the workplaces. Do you want the discreet package or the I knock on doors package?" "Discreet. And fast," I answered. "She's 34, blonde, drives a gray crossover. Check hotels within 10 miles of Congress and the river. Look at Redwood Plaza first." "Why there?" The officer's eyes hit the table when he said downtown business hotel. I said, "Redwood's where her company puts out-of-towners." "Understood. I'll circle back inside 24, Tyler said. "You'll get a report, not a fishing story." "Good," I said. "Invoice me. Emails on your text." I hung up, opened a new note on my phone, and titled it, "Rules." It wasn't for her. It was for me. First line, no theory. Only facts and consequences. Second, no texting paragraphs. Third, no emotional negotiations. Fourth, adjust access. By lunch, our home Wi-Fi had a fresh password, and her profile on the alarm app was paused. Not punitive, just order. I moved my toiletries to the guest bath and stripped the master bed. I wasn't going to sleep in a room that smelled like uncertainty. At 5, I took the chicken off the counter, put it back in the freezer, and ate eggs. The house gave me nothing back. At 10:38 p.m., I got one text. "Long day. Don't freak. I'll call tomorrow." I didn't respond. Freaking is for people who haven't built a plan. Wednesday noon, Tyler met me in the parking lot behind my office with a manila folder and the satisfied frown of a plumber who'd found the leak exactly where you warned him to look. "Redwood Plaza," he said, handing me the packet. "Room 308. Time-stamped images." She checked in with a man mid-30s. No luggage at first. They came and went together for a late dinner. Breakfast this morning, back to the room. Lunch apart. At 1:30, she left with a bag. They hugged at the front desk. He went east. She went north. He slid out the photos. Her hair in a clip I'd bought her last summer. Her hand on a man's shoulder, their heads close on the parking level. A kiss near the pillar. The timestamp might as well have been a hammer. Tyler kept his tone neutral. "You want me to identify him?" "Not necessary," I said. "He exists, that's plenty." "You're early in the process, Mr. Bennett," he added. "I've seen all flavors. You look like a spreadsheet guy." Spreadsheets win. They do, I agreed. Send me your invoice. Thank you. On the walk back to the building, my phone buzzed. Alyssa, I'll be home around 7. Do you want anything from the store? Clean, casual, like a radio host switching to the traffic report. Then a second text. I know you were worried. I needed some air. We can talk. The mid-turn. The soft glove. I stared at "we can talk" and thought of the officer's shrug. Facts, not theory. I replied with logistics. Door code changed. I'll open it at 6:45. 3 dots hung there, then vanished. A voicemail dropped in, light and friendly, like she was calling between meetings. Hey, Mark. I'm sorry you were stressed. I stayed with a friend downtown to clear my head. Nothing dramatic. We can reset. Grab wine. See you later. 2 minutes after I ended the voicemail, I called Karen Liu, family attorney. We'd shared a brisk handshake last Christmas at a charity thing. Smart, fast, no fluff. I need a clean packet, Karen, I said. House is premarital. Separate finances. No kids. No theatrics. I want orders for property, quiet period, and a standard settlement. I'll pay the rush fee. Can you come at 3? She asked. I'll be there at 3, I said. Her office looked like discipline. She glanced over Tyler's photos without commentary, only noting the timestamps and the hotel name. We're not discussing the story behind these, she said. We're making decisions. Are you ready to execute? Yes. Then sign here, here, and here. I'll assemble the notice and the proposed terms. You can hand deliver, but keep it simple. Do not argue. Do not explain. We'll file at 9 a.m. tomorrow unless I hear otherwise. Perfect, I said. Back home, I set the manila folder on the kitchen island. Papers on the left, Tyler's report on the right. Nothing hidden. I wiped the counter. At 6:47 p.m., the door opened. Alyssa stepped in like she'd stepped out for a manicure. Key toss, jacket over the chair, a quick kiss aimed in the air between us. What's for dinner? She asked, opening the fridge. I might just slice up that salad. By the way, I needed space. Work's been insane. Space granted, I told her, stepping around the island. And here's clarity. I handed her the folder. Her eyes tracked the bold header, then the photos. Her face went from blank to puzzled to a tight panic, like she'd been tapped on the shoulder and turned to find a mirror. This is not, she started. Don't finish that sentence, I cut in. You took space at Redwood Plaza. Room 308. You were not alone. You have nothing to explain to me. You are a grown adult. These are the papers. You can sign tonight or I file in the morning. She set the photos down like they burned. Mark, that's not what you think. He is not. This isn't some random guy, okay? We were talking. I needed to feel like myself. You've been so rigid. It was one night. That's it. You made a choice, I replied. I'm making mine. You're not sleeping in the master bedroom. Guest room's fine. Do not use my office. We are done with ambiguous rules. That house is mine too, she shot back, trying to find a foothold. The deed says otherwise. You have a place to sleep tonight. Use it or don't. If you don't want to sign, don't sign. I'll file at 9. You hired someone to follow me? That's stalking. I hired someone to collect facts, I answered. He did. We're finished discussing your adjectives. She hovered over the island, hands hovering over the photos like they might rearrange themselves into a better sequence. You can't just throw this at me and act like I don't matter. I'm not acting, I said. I'm executing. She tried on another tone. Softer. I messed up the communication. I should have told you I was taking time. I shut off my phone to rest. We've both been tense. We can reset. Don't do anything irreversible tonight. Let's take a breath. We are not resetting, I told her. We're concluding. She stood there 5 seconds longer, as if waiting for the floor to move. Then she straightened, scooped up her tote, and pointed toward the hallway. I'm taking the guest room. Great. At 10, the guest room door closed. I sat at the table and answered emails. At 11, she emerged, eyes red, but not from tears, more like from logistics. I can't sleep here, she said. I'll go to Madison's. Text me when you leave, I said. I'll lock up. Mark, she tried again, then stopped. She grabbed her bag, left without drama. I locked up, set the alarm, and slept on the couch with a blanket rolled to my neck because that's what a clean line feels like. Hard and simple. Morning, 9 o'clock, Karen filed. At 9:12, Alyssa's number flashed. I picked up. You filed? She asked, no hello. Yes. You didn't even talk to me. We talked, I said. You set your rule. You don't owe me explanations. I'm agreeing. She went quiet, regrouping. I'm coming to your office. No. If you need to communicate, put it in an email or through counsel. She showed up anyway at 11, because rules were interesting to her only when they came with incentives. I'd already prepped my office manager, Riley, a former Marine who smiles exactly twice a year. If a woman named Alyssa arrives, seat her in the lobby, I told him. Do not bring her back. I'll talk to her there with you present. At 11:10, I stepped into the lobby. Alyssa was there with Madison, who wore the kind of smirk people practice in front of a mirror. Madison got the first shot in. So we're doing ambush paperwork now, Mark? Riley, I said, ignoring Madison. Can you grab the visitor's sign-in and the recording notice? He slid the forms onto the coffee table. Alyssa stared at them, then at me. You're recording me? I record all work conversations, I said. Lobby included. Madison snorted. You're unhinged. Then don't be here, I said without looking at her. Alyssa glanced at Madison, then back at me. She tried a practical tone. Okay, logistics. I need some clothes and my makeup. My passport. My laptop stand. The scarves in the top closet. I'll swing by at 5. You'll pick up at 2, I answered. 30-minute window. Riley will be there. Neighbor Linda will witness. Take what's on your list and what I put by the door. No tours. I'm not a thief, she snapped. Then 30 minutes is plenty. She shifted again, this time towards sweetness like turning a dimmer. I brought you something, she said, lifting a paper bag from the chair. Banana bread. You love it. I made it late last night. Can we not be enemies? This whole thing can calm down. Leave it with Riley, I told her. We're not enemies. We're done. Madison stood, ready to perform. You know, if you corner her like this, you're just proving you're controlling. I met Madison's eyes. What I prove to you is irrelevant. Alyssa, 2 o'clock. Alyssa nodded because the wall was there now. On her way out, she touched my arm. Just 2 fingers, a gesture we used to share in crowded rooms. You don't have to be cold. I'm being clear, I said. At 1:50, I parked in the driveway. Riley stood by the garage. Linda, retired teacher, the unofficial block captain, sat in a lawn chair with a book like she'd been assigned jury duty. Alyssa pulled up, wearing the casual outfit she saved for sympathy runs. She stepped into the entry and scanned the neatly stacked boxes, labeled, itemized. I'd done it that morning. Not to be kind. To remove ambiguity. You packed my things? She asked. Some of them. Essentials. The rest we'll schedule. She walked to the island and saw another stack of papers. Utility transfers. The alarm app access changed to read-only. The HOA gate code adjustment. You pulled my access? Yes. This is my home. You are a guest by appointment. That is humiliating, she said. Consequences usually are. Riley checked his watch. 28 minutes. She moved faster, grabbing clothes. The makeup caddy, a jewelry pouch I'd left sealed with painter's tape and my initials across it. At 29 minutes, she stood in the doorway, clutching the tote. Alyssa, Linda called from her chair, not looking up from the book. I'm witnessing that you left with 3 boxes and a bag. That's all. Alyssa looked like she wanted to say something sharp to Linda and thought better of it. She faced me instead. You're going to regret how ruthless you're making this. People can change. I agree, I said. I did. At 8 that night, 2 patrol officers rang the bell. They stood under the porch light, hats in hand, polite. Mr. Bennett, one said. We received a call about a welfare check and a concern about possible harassment. From whom? I asked. He glanced at the screen. Anonymous. This your residence? It is. I filed earlier today for a dissolution. There's no harassment. There's a schedule. You're welcome to come in and see that nobody's here but me. They stepped back. No need. Just doing our due diligence. I appreciate the check, I said. If she calls again, you have our paper trail. They left without incident. The second illusion had started to crack. Sweetness in the lobby. Then an anonymous call. 2 different pitches, same goal, control the story. The next day at work, I got a long email from her. Subject line, let's be adults. She wrote. I stepped out because I felt suffocated. I wanted a night where I could think without being judged. I stayed downtown with someone who understands what I'm building. It wasn't what you're assuming. I needed to see if I still recognized myself. I shouldn't have let the phone die. That was wrong. I apologize. Can we do counseling before any permanent decisions? Also, I need more time to figure out housing. I read it twice. Then I replied with 6 bullet points. Property pickups by appointment, 30 minutes, with witness. Any entry requires my presence. All communication via email or counsel. No surprise visits. Personal accounts are separate. Joint utilities are reassigned. No shared events. No couple posts. No announcements until legal notice is served. I decline counseling. She answered in 5 minutes. So you're just done? After everything? You're not even curious why. I wrote back. Your why isn't my job. Friday afternoon, Madison posted a photo of herself and Alyssa at a patio bar with the caption, "Girls who choose peace." Comments filled up with hearts and "You go girl talk." Our neighbor sent me the screenshot with a thumbs down emoji and the message. Want me to ignore this, or do you want it saved? Save it, I replied. Not for the internet. For my file. Saturday morning was the final pickup. Tyler offered to sit in his car at the curb. Some people behave better when they realize someone is documenting, he'd said. At 9:58 a.m., Alyssa's car rolled up. She got out with a soft smile and a cardboard tray of coffees. I brought you a latte, she said to me like we were co-parents of a dog. I know how you like it. I glanced at the cup and shook my head. You can leave it on the porch. Don't do that, she murmured. Please. Riley opened the door. 30 minutes start now. She walked through, slower this time. Eyes lingering on the photos we'd once put in the hallway. She paused at a framed shot from last summer on the river, both of us with sunburned noses and terrible hats. She took it off the wall, then set it back. I don't want that, she said softly. That makes 2 of us, I answered. Madison wasn't there. Instead, a man I didn't know waited in her car and watched his phone. He didn't come inside. She collected books, shoes, a hairdryer. Then she stopped at the kitchen, where the folder still sat, now thicker with confirmations and receipts. She put her palm on it. So you really won't hear me out, she said. I needed to remind myself I have options. That doesn't mean I'm leaving. I wanted leverage. This is me being honest. I can be honest with you. Don't throw away 6 years. You wanted options without losing the benefits, I said. You tested a door. I saw you. That's the whole story. You think this makes you strong? Her voice sharpened. You think being rigid makes you a man? It makes you small. Riley looked over. Time. 2 more minutes, she snapped. 30 seconds, Riley replied, deadpan. She grabbed the last box and headed out. On the porch, she turned, last card in hand, the emotional one. I never wanted to hurt you, she said. It was supposed to be a pause, not an exit. I picked you for a reason. You're steady. Don't flip this into a spectacle. You created the spectacle, I told her. I set the stage lights to off. Her jaw worked like she was chewing a sentence she didn't like the taste of. Then she left. Monday morning, Karen emailed, service completed. Timeline begins. Expect outreach from opposing counsel. I forwarded it to my personal archive and moved on with my day. I was not waiting for permission to feel fine. That afternoon at the gym, Troy, older guy, owns the muffler shop down the road, the kind of man who knows 200 people and forgets no one, walked over between sets. Heard some noise in town, he said. You all right? I'm organized, I answered. He nodded. That beats all right. You want to grill on Saturday? Guys are coming over. Bring that dry rub you do. Done. By Wednesday, the last of her mail was forwarding. The HOA removed her gate code. The alarm showed only my name. The house stopped making me inventory it for traps. I slept in the master again, not because I was reclaiming anything, but because I didn't know a couch any more of my back. Alyssa tried one more angle later that week. She called my mom. My mom called me. She says she made a stupid mistake, my mom said carefully. She says you're acting like a robot. I'm acting like a man who respects himself, I replied. She can stop calling you. I told her that, my mom said. I also told her you don't do U-turns. You never did. On Friday, Alyssa emailed a formal request through a law office with a neat logo. Client proposes temporary occupancy of master bedroom for 4 weeks while seeking housing. Client proposes alternating weekends at residence to maintain routine. Client requests temporary financial assistance for storage and moving. I sent it to Karen. Her reply came back 15 minutes later. Declined. Offer. 2 additional pickup appointments, 30 minutes each, supervised. Small allowance for storage for 30 days if she vacates any keys and FOBs immediately. We will not alternate weekends. We will not cede master bedroom. Send it, I wrote back. Saturday at Troy's, the guys stood around a grill too big for the patio and solved nothing while eating everything. Luke, who was going through a quiet marital detour of his own, asked, "How do you keep from losing it?" "I didn't keep it," I said. "I traded it for a checklist." "You're cold, man," he said, admiring it. "I'm clear," I corrected him. Clarity looks like cold from far away. Midweek, Madison texted me from an unknown number that Riley had filtered. "You could have handled this privately and spared her humiliation. You wanted to make a point." I typed and deleted twice before replying. "Your advice is noted and discarded." Tyler sent his final invoice with a single line at the end. "If you need me to serve as a pickup witness again, say when." I paid it. Alyssa's last in-person attempt came a week later, early evening. I stepped out of my truck and there she was by the mailbox, hair pulled back, no makeup, jeans and a plain top. The outfit was intentional. The timing was too. "I miss you," she said. "I miss our routines. I hate hotels. I can't sleep. I made a mistake in how I handled this. I can't undo it. But we can rebuild." "We can end well," I replied. "Rebuild is off the menu." She braced a hand on the mailbox. "So that's it. One error and the judge, jury, and executioner shuts the door?" "No judges here," I said. "Just adults. You made your rule Monday night. I don't owe you explanations. I accepted it. Now accept mine." She stepped closer, that old two-finger touch on my arm again. Still worked like a trigger. I stepped back. "I'm not here to comfort you out of your choices," I added. "You can stand on them." She stared at me for a long second, some calculation running behind her eyes. Then she shrugged like we were talking about a misfiled form. "You're cold," she repeated. "Clear," I said again. She left. That was the last porch conversation we had. I won't glamorize the next months like a highlight reel. Life got simple and quiet. I got up at 5, ran a slow mile, answered emails before the sun. I ate better. I worked longer because no one was asking me to perform small domestic theater. I put music back in the rooms. I bought a second-hand truck I'd been eyeing for years and restored the interior on Saturdays with Troy. I moved my tools back to the center of the garage like a man who plans to use them. I didn't look at her friends' posts. I didn't read the comment sections. At the end of the quarter, I took on a contract we'd been dodging because it required travel. I flew to Denver twice. On the second trip, I sat next to a woman named Grace who builds small apartment complexes out of nothing and makes spreadsheets look like art. We talked projects, not feelings. When I got home, she sent me a link to a great little property on the east side and a photo of a dog she was thinking of adopting. We got coffee a week later. She showed up on time and had no interest in playing narrator. 2 months after the papers went in, I got a text from an unknown number that prefaced itself with, "It's me." She'd moved into a small place near the freeway, and the tone was practical but frayed. "It's me. I'd like to stop by for a final box and the winter coats. Also, if you're open, I'd like to talk like humans and apologize properly." I responded with the schedule, Tuesday at 3. 30 minutes. Riley present. She didn't reply. When Tuesday came, a different car pulled up. Madison walked to the door, not Alyssa. She gave me a look like she wanted to stab me with compassion. "She wouldn't come," Madison said. "She's having a rough time. She thought you'd be kinder." "I'm consistent," I said. "The coats are in the foyer." Madison glanced around the house, hungry for evidence of my suffering or my joy. She found neither and hated that. "She didn't leave for good," she said, as if reading from a script. "She just needed air. You turned it into a trial." "I turned it into an exit," I said. "Trials require arguments. I don't have any." Madison picked up the box and left. In her taillights, I saw something collapse that had been standing only because we'd both pretended it could. That's the thing about control. It's impressive until it meets a boundary that doesn't blink. The last thing I said to Alyssa was not a rant or a monologue. A month after Madison's visit, Alyssa finally emailed through counsel to coordinate returning an old family heirloom of mine, my grandfather's watch, that she'd found in a drawer. We set the exchange at a public bench near the entrance to our old grocery store. Tyler walked the lot from a distance. She arrived alone, handed me the watch wrapped in a dish towel. and waited. I wanted to tell you I'm sorry, she said. No theatrics left, just the flat tone of someone reading numbers off a receipt. I thought I could have two lives for a minute and catch my breath. It never works that way. I know exactly what I cost myself. Thank you for the watch, I said, sliding it into my pocket. And thank you for making the decision easy. Her eyes flickered, a micro winces at the word easy. It was never easy, she said. It is now, I answered. Take care. I walked away first because that was the whole point. She didn't follow. There was no dramatic shout. Just shoes on concrete and a watch ticking in my pocket like it had been waiting for me to stop wasting time. Epilogue, if you need one. I'm good. The house is quieter and cleaner. There's a dog hair on my couch sometimes because Grace's rescue thinks my living room is his stadium. The truck runs smoother than any decision I made at 30. My friends still come over and spill salsa on my counter and fix it with paper towels like it's a ceremony. Work grew, not because I was angry, because I had more hours and no background noise. I hear things because people talk. Alyssa moved twice in 6 months. The second move was a downgrade she blamed on the market. The man from Redwood Plaza didn't stick around. He was a test balloon and popped like one. Her crowd still posts patio photos. Fewer hearts now, more filtered quotes about self-care. I wish her luck from a distance because that's exactly how much she bought. As for me, I don't hold grudges. I hold lines. I keep the rules on my phone where I wrote them. No theory. Only facts and consequences. No paragraphs. No negotiations. Just access. It's not cold. It's clear. And clarity is the only peace I trust.